Hello there and welcome back. My name is Reimer, I don't rhyme, and welcome to my bathroom. As with me not being the hockey guy, I have neither a dedicated space and a whiteboard for hockey content, nor do I have a reason to even wear all of these jerseys. Really, this most recent iteration of the jersey collection started in 2023, and I don't really know why I keep collecting these. I like hockey. I really just find all of these incredibly comforting. They're really basically security blankets with corporate logos on them and years of resentment and disappointment. So I figured I'd go over my jersey collection, go through some of the historical significance both for the teams involved and myself personally, and some of the design cues and some of my own personal opinions, because believe it or not, I like some of these more than others. So let's get started where it all began.
Here comes the siren. Here come the Flames. Champions, 1989. Lanny McDonald along with Tim Hunter and Jim Poplinski accept the Stanley Cup from league president John Ziegler.
The classic red. So for those who don't know, Adidas and Fanatics are my favorite brands when it comes to the premium jerseys. I find that they have the best fit and the best material on my end. Prime green jerseys in particular have some amazing details on the crest, if you can see there. This jersey in particular, it is the most iconic Flames jersey. The Flames won their first and only, so far, Stanley Cup wearing this back in 1989. And they blew my mind for the first time I saw the Flames wearing these back during their 30th anniversary season in 2009 and 2010. I hadn't seen anything like it. The amount of color that came oozing from these. I really like how on crappy televisions back in the day, there was no disguising the Flames. If they were playing bad, you couldn't sort of squint your eyes and be like, you know what, maybe it's New Jersey. No, it was quintessentially the Flames that were taking all those penalties or whatever. The 09-10 season was really the beginning of the end for the remnants of the 04 Cup run. But my favorite modern memories of this jersey, specifically in the Adidas and Fanatics trims, include the 9-1 game that I went to back in 2022 against the Arizona Coyotes, which is weird because it's both the last time I've seen the Arizona Coyotes and the last time I saw Johnny Gaudreau play in person. These were especially great to watch during Kipper's retirement. That game, very strong memories with that game in particular. That was an absolute bombshell. It was a pure panic-inducing anxiety attack the entire time during that, right down to the final minute. And of course, how can we forget Johnny Gaudreau's Game 7 goal against Dallas in 2022 when he had the A on that jersey. When I do get this jersey customized, because I do plan on it, all of these jerseys are blank, by the way, including this one. I do plan on getting this one customized to have Johnny Gaudreau's number on there, because I feel like it's fitting. He had such a great impact on my life as a player. Well, not as me as a player. I would suck. Do not put me in a hockey game. Very bad. In terms of my childhood growing up, sort of maturing into who I am now, the Johnny Gaudreau era of the Flames is one that I am never, ever going to forget.
Shoots one in. They're after it again. Poplinski going in. The Calgary Flames have won the lead. Not a picture goal. It was centered by Poplinski. It hit a skating puck.
The classic white. the OG home jersey, back when the NHL had white jerseys as the home jerseys. Do you guys think that the NHL should be going back to that? I think it would be kind of cool. I think it really is a special treat when they go back to these nice, clean white designs, because it takes, I would say, a little more effort to make a white jersey stand out. And I think the Flames did this amazing back in the day, as they are now. These are much, much better than the original Reebok and Adidas white jerseys that the Flames had. Far too many stripes on those, and too much black too. I like that there's red pants that go with this. However, these white jerseys still have more contrast than the classic red ones. I find it's less of a red blob, and there's a little bit more going on when the Flames are on the ice wearing these. Now, when they brought this jersey back for the 2019 Heritage Classic against Winnipeg, I was kind of interested to see possibly a version of it without the shoulder yoke. I think that would have been kind of cool to look at, but at the same time, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There really is nothing broke on this jersey. It is iconic. It is a Flames jersey through and through. Now, one thing I will point out is that when you wear this, the shirt that you're wearing underneath this will be visible. I don't know if it's something exclusive with the Adidas white jerseys and the Fanatics ones, or if it maybe is just something with this particular Flames one. But I would say just go with a white shirt underneath, or you could wear a pretty solid dark one. Just don't wear something with a graphic on it, because then you're going to have random people at a Flames game asking you if you know 3 Nirvana songs. Well, I mean, duh. Of course I do. I'm not a poser.
Wow. Madonna charges $50, apparently.
A really good memory of this, not, a memory that I had because I was born 10 years after this. Game 7 against Vancouver in 1989. Overtime, with Mike Vernon just insisting on robbing everyone on that Vancouver team as if they were on Hastings and Maine. That was unbelievable.
Here comes Tandy. He got a chance. Another great save. How can he keep doing this? Vernon makes another brilliant save with the glove.
Takes another look, and it's center ice. Kieran and Iginla are ready to go. Oh, my. Kieran and throwing him. Iginla to the right. They're trading rights. Ow. Oh, no. Left-handed by Iginla.
Blasty. This is, without a doubt, the best alternate logo that the Calgary Flames have ever had. Out of a whopping 4 of them, including that 2014 weird circle logo, the Alberta flag, and the Canadian flag. We are neither Canada's team or Alberta's team, and frankly, I'm kind of ashamed of the province of Alberta right now, so to have a blue flag removed from a red jersey, I'm pretty happy about. And people were clamoring in Calgary to have Blasty back when the reverse retros were introduced back in the 2021 season. And this one does not disappoint. It is so good to see this logo back and embraced. People were kind of like knocking it for a little bit, but it is so good. I remember seeing this logo constantly as a kid, and I loved it to bits. Lexa loved it to bits. Her late grandfather gave her a Blasty t-shirt, which she still has. So the logo's been very sentimental to us. And the prime green logo on here, it somehow trumps that of the flaming seas. There's so much flame detailing on Blasty here, especially up the flames going up, and details in the teeth and the eyes. It's a very nicely done logo over the original reverse retro ones, and certainly over the original CCM ones. The proper alternate is the best version of Blasty to pick up. Although, one thing I will say, despite the jersey having some really nice detailing on the sleeves here, when I see them on the ice wearing this, a bit too much black. I feel like I wish there was some more color there. That is the one thing I will say. It is absolutely possible to pull off a black jersey in the NHL. Penguins have done it, Bruins have done it. There's a lot of teams that have done it. You need to be able to have some color too. And the original version of Blasty, back in the early 2000s, it had some more red going on towards the bottom. This jersey wouldn't have benefited from that. I wish there was a little bit more. In terms of a really, really good memory with this, it feels like every time they bring this jersey out, whether it be during that original reverse retro COVID bubble Canadian division thing, or the 2023 complete falling off a cliff season, it feels like they seem to struggle when wearing Blasty. Even back during the early 2000s, that was a dark time. But I will say, good memory was Dan Vladar robbing Johnny Gaudreau on a penalty shot while wearing a Blasty jersey. Flames fans, I really hope booing Johnny Gaudreau during that was worth it. Just saying.
Well, you couldn't script it. Gaudreau, first game back, penalty shot on Vladar. Shoots wide.
Third period here in Calgary. Here's Iginla. Shooting. Calgary trailing by one.
Reverse Retro 2.0, the pedestal jerseys. The pedestal jerseys are fucking weird and I love them. The originals were designed in the 94-95 season by a Canadian artist named Bill Brownridge, who also writes quite a few children's hockey books. I think he died last year, so I might need to change the context of what I just said. Rest in peace, Bill. You created a very weird jersey and I love it. So the idea with this jersey is that the Flaming Sea is put on a pedestal, presumably soaring above other teams, which is especially ironic because the Flames during the original run of these jerseys in 95, 94, 96, going onwards up until 04 were absolute dog shit while wearing the original iterations of these jerseys. The reverse retro version, I feel like trumps the originals from the 90s. I like the black base on here, and unlike the new version of Blasty, there's enough red going on, there's enough yellow and white to really bring this jersey out on the ice. I really like the on these 2.0 reverse retro jerseys, the old NHL logo from the 90s is on there, so I think that's fun. I do like the mirrored one, maybe a little bit more, but for the 2.0 reverse retros, I can kind of get it. One thing that was pointed out by people was there is a seam on the bottom, just kind of separating the pedestal from the rest of the jersey, which wasn't on there on the original 90s versions. Me personally, I don't think it's incredibly noticeable, especially when you're wearing it, when you're looking at it from a distance. It is there. I feel like it is maybe a little bit lazy. It's a bit disappointing that they needed to include that, but I'm just really, really happy to have one of these. I think it's an absolute treasure in my collection. Also, the Adidas logo on these reverse retro 2.0s, they don't even have the word Adidas there, so it's clean. It's very clean, even though the stripes are incredibly messy, but that's the point. So even though this jersey was synonymous with dark times in Calgary, one bright spot is that Jarome Iginla wore these jerseys. These were the first Flames jerseys that he wore when he was in Calgary. But they weren't the best.
Following up the play, drives it in as we move into the final minute of this first overtime. Conroy in the corner, tried to slide it out front. Then the puck was loose for just a moment. Now Iginla takes a shot. The rebound in front.
The 04 home. Our first CCM jersey. It is, by the way, extremely, extremely annoying trying to figure out my sizes among these different brands here. So among these brands, we have Adidas, we have Fanatics, we have Nike, and we have CCM. Reebok and Nike, I wear a small size. Adidas and Fanatics, I wear a double extra small, which is a size 42, and then CCM, for whatever reason, decided to be a medium. So I don't really know if I'm a small person, I don't know if I'm a medium person, I don't know if I'm Eugenia Cooney.
And you can find me in the dome, chilling with Jerome, got my eye on the cup, baby.
But These were the first jerseys I remember the Flames wearing when I first started watching hockey. Really good time to get into the Calgary Flames, during 04, 2006 as well. I'm always nostalgic about the black flaming C as it adds a lot of contrast and intensity to these jerseys. And when it comes to a black flaming C, I feel like these CCM versions are the best iteration of them. The stripes are kept fairly simple, if diagonal, which I think are really cool. I like how Colorado in particular is going back to this kind of striping, so I feel like it proves that if Calgary decided to modernize these, Craig Conroy, if you're watching this video somehow, first off, thank you. Second of all, please, we would love if you could find a way to modernize the 2004 jersey for something. I don't know. I think this could make a really good alternate, or whatever you feel. Now, originally on these jerseys, when they were introduced in 2004, it used to be black numbers and black names. And no, I'm not referring to Jerome Iginla. I'm referring to the color black on here. Eventually, they proved a little bit too hard to read, so they went with white names on the top, which I feel like is the cherry on the sundae in terms of uniqueness for these. And the type of font they used, I think the names on the back looked really nice. This was also the first Flames jersey that I had as a kid. It was a kind of like a knockoff kids version, but my parents made it up for me by actually having my name on the back, and then I chose the number 23 because at the time I got this jersey. It was like 2006, 2007. And the number 23 had not been selected yet by any active player. Marty Iginla had left, and then Eric Nystrom, who was the next number 23, had not shown up yet. So I've always had a special attachment to the number 23, which is why I really miss Sean Monahan, I'm telling you. So echoes of the 2004 playoffs still resonate in this city all the time, and there's so many favorite moments involving these jerseys from those playoffs as a result, but I have to go back to Marty Iginla's goal in overtime in Game 6 against Detroit, knocking off the juggernaut Red Wings in the second round. Marty Iginla was the eliminator in those playoffs. By the way, the Game 6 goal in the Stanley Cup final, that was in, but, you know, whatever.
Iginla to the left circle, Iginla shot, Joseph save, rebound, he scores! Yeah, baby! Yeah, baby! Martin Iginla scores! The Flames win it! 1-0! Yeah, baby!
Tolk with a steal, right circle shot, scores! The incredible Tolk strikes for Calgary. Give the Hitmen the lead.
The first hockey game I ever went to was a Calgary Hitmen game where they squared off against the Lethbridge Hurricanes and lost 4-3. And this was around 2008, 2007, something like that. And ever since then, I've kept a special place in my heart for the Calgary Hitmen, and they really make for a inexpensive way to cure boredom in Calgary. If you need to go to a hockey game and you're on a bit of a budget, Hitmen games are awesome. It's crazy. During that game against the Hurricanes, I hadn't been to the Saddle Dome before, so I remember looking up as a little kid at just how insane this arena looks. How, like, there's no way a sporting arena can look like this. So that's the Saddle Dome. Despite it being old, that is what I hold other arenas to when it comes to like looking cool, branding, that sort of thing. I'm gonna cry quite heavily when it gets demolished. Now, lately, a lot of teams, whether it be in the NHL, WHL, CHL, really anywhere, they've been incorporating a lot more metallic elements to their jerseys with varying levels of success. I personally prefer that the metallic elements are left to be accent pieces rather than, you know, the entire makeup of the jersey. But Vegas won a Stanley Cup wearing these glittery things that would make Taylor Swift cream, so I don't know. What do I know? The Hitmen used a bronze accent for their 30th anniversary jersey, and combined with enough white, the team looks fantastic, and it sure helps that they're doing really great this season heading into the playoffs. Knock on wood. In terms of the fitment of this jersey, that's where I get into a problem, because I originally had a small version of this, and the arms did not go down to my wrists whatsoever. So I stepped up to a medium. These sleeves are still short. They are still short, and then this thing, like the length of it going down past my ass, it looks like a dress. And it's interesting because I went to the Flames Fanatic store, which has jerseys for all the sports teams in Calgary. And the regular non-30th anniversary jerseys for the Hitmen, their sleeves are actually a bit longer. And they have a proper WHL badge on here, a proper patch that isn't just kind of screen printed on there. It's proper, 3D. But I guess that's the price to pay for this type of material. So what can you do? This is a a limited edition jersey. I'm gonna choose this one.
Up with it again. He's on the ice with Iginla. Iginla scores! Sidney Crosby, the golden goal! And Canada has once and one time Olympic gold. These golden games have their crowning moment.
In America, they have "Where Were You When Kennedy Was Shot?" In Canada, we have "Where Were You When Crosby Scored?" And I know where I was. I was in my original childhood house in Monterey Park in Calgary. We were watching the gold medal game. I remember my dad being in the bathroom as the third period was wrapping up and Zach Parise tied the game, and he just hears me groan from the living room.
Right to center, Patrick Kane, up the Zach Parise!
That's when we knew it was on. And then overtime, Crosby scores. Me and my dad start screaming and cheering. My sister starts crying because she's terrified of the noise. She wasn't really into it. But the city of Calgary was electric that night. The Calgary Tower was lit, let alone Vancouver. I could only imagine how crazy Vancouver was. I've seen all the videos. Canada was having a party for the entirety of that week, it felt like. And having lived in Vancouver for an extended period of time, I can still feel the energy from those Olympic Games that were at their epicenter. Watching clips of the city, watching clips of the Olympics, it makes me miss Vancouver every day. Now, the jersey itself, specifically the white one, which won the gold medal, is a masterpiece. The red one, which is fundamentally identical to this except for the base color, the logo on the red one is still red as well, which I feel like the logo on the red one can get lost among the sea of red, pun intended.
We are the sea of red, the sea of red.
We are the sea of red!
But the white one I feel like is a lot cleaner, and then there is that added bonus of Crosby scoring with it. The thing I love about this jersey is that there's a simplicity in the striping, meanwhile a complexity in the details on the crest. Deborah Sparrow designed the crest with many elements, including smaller maple leaves representing the gold medal counts of Canada's men's, women's, and sledge hockey teams. There's a Thunderbird and Eagle, and there's two powerful First Nation symbols supporting and protecting the central maple leaf. The jersey is so comfortable. I've worn pajama pants with this, and I've forgotten that this isn't a pajama shirt. And it really irritates me how Nike went from something as comfortable as this to what they're doing now with modern Team Canada jerseys. Modern Team Canada jerseys made by Nike, they feel very rigid. They are completely oversized, made of terrible, cheap materials. Nike has gone so far downhill. I really hope Nike makes no more Team Canada jerseys. I'm at a point, if Fanatics makes Team Canada jerseys, despite their quality control issues, I still feel like they'll have a better grasp over comfort. Age in general hasn't been nice to the 2010 Team Canada. My particular logo on my jersey, it started to show some age where a bit of the color is coming off of it. And I will say to people washing a 2010 Team Canada jersey in particular, be careful, put your wash on delicate and air dry it. because there has been some color bleed from what I've seen. It has gone away on the edges for me, but I feel like this one is a little bit more prone to color bleed. So if you want to own that piece of Canadian history, please be careful. The 2010 Olympics were the first time I can remember our country coming together, but it certainly wouldn't be the last time.
Off the drop, McDavid went forward and nearly got a shot off. Kerr sends it around. Martin waiting. Connor McDavid scores! Connor McDavid for Canada!
People were knocking this tournament. I was too. But in hindsight, this possibly destroyed the traditional All-Star break. I never want to watch another one of those games again. Like, ever since John Scott retired, there's no point anymore.
Thank you for being a friend.
I had real doubts about this jersey. It looked like it came from Canadian Tire. This jersey, I find, is the reverse of the Nike Heritage Team Canada jersey from a couple years ago that I unboxed. I feel like this is aged better, where I feel like that classic Heritage jersey, there's a reason I don't own that anymore. There's so many more interesting things going on with this jersey than the Nike Heritage one. There's a lot more detail going on with the crest, the veins on the leaf, the stitching on the Canada text here, the maple leaves that go along the chest and the sleeves that are indented, very subtle, but very, very effective. Even the collar, which looks like it's been sponsored by Air Canada, which realistically, I don't think Air Canada can really afford to sponsor anything.
You know what they do with this later? They tie them off and use them as pillows on Air Canada.
But one of my favorite elements of this jersey is the off-white, which it's hard to see here, and that's okay. It's subtle. Other teams, when they do a Heritage jersey, they can go a little too aggressive with off-white to where it just looks pukey. But this is subtle enough to not immediately stand out while still having some class. I really wouldn't be against Team Canada in the future doing some sort of a white stripe across the front of the logo, because it really helps a red logo stand out on a red jersey. And during the Four Nations tournament, it was absolutely impossible to ignore the politics behind the game. Canada winning at this time in our game meant the world to our country. It wasn't just a game to us. It was a rallying cry for a nation that was unjustly put in the political crosshairs of a man who not only doesn't believe in Canadian values, but also doesn't believe in the values of the majority of his American citizens. We love our American brothers and sisters, and we humbly stand our ground against these ridiculous claims of becoming a 51st state. Hockey isn't just a game to us. It is a dance, an art, a tradition, a way of coming together through adversity. And if we need it to, it will also be a war that we plan on winning. I'm Sean Reimer. I don't rhyme. Thanks for watching.